Well, hello, I'm Professor Michael Jacobson, the founder and CEO of Pallas Advanced Learning Systems. The purpose of our company is to be a global leader in the development of cognitive learning, artificial intelligence, and virtual systems to enable transformative learning experiences in science and related subjects. The problem that we will solve is that schools are now being required to teach science at a much higher level than the past, and existing textbook and ed tech resources do not meet the requirements of new standards, such as the next generation science standards that are being rolled out in the United States. Competitors do not yet have research-based approaches for materials related to next generation science standards. Pallas does. Now, I was going to give you a 1-minute video here, but in the interest of time, I'll simply refer you to our website where you can see the 1-minute video and students and teachers using the 3D virtual reality systems and the 2D modeling tools and so on. But at this point, we will soldier on to the solution. We have developed at this point 3 minimum viable products that we call virtual learning kits that will be scaled out as we get better resourced, initially for a full year 9 curriculum, and then we will build up through grade 12 and then to 7. The year 9 is a critical year. We lose so many students in terms of their interest in science. Not everybody's going to be a scientist, but if 75% of the new occupations require knowing science knowledge and skills, that's going to be a real problem for a country that does not have students with those kinds of backgrounds. We will be freeing up school budgets because we will be providing vetted content, online content that's free, that will replace the necessity of having textbooks providing the content. Then the schools will be having access to the value-added technologies that we have and the innovative teaching and learning approaches that we will make available. And our products and services are based on cutting-edge cognitive science research. The form factor that we have are 3D and 2D software systems. They install locally on the computers. The size of these and the limitations in terms of bandwidth mean that schools really do require a local installation on Mac and Windows computers. We can do things in the cloud. One of these days, the schools will be ready for that. We also provide teaching resources for the teachers. Some of these subjects they're being required to teach are a bit unfamiliar to them. The innovative approaches that we are recommending are covered in the materials. Students also then get what we call a student guidebook with challenge problems that they work on. And then a teacher could print these out the old-fashioned way. They'll write down responses, or they can fill things out on the PDF, send it to the teacher electronically. We've got good IP for what we have. Much of the work that we have is based on research that I've done at the University of Sydney and is licensed from the university. One of the key things you need to understand about the Pallas difference is a model of cognitive levels of knowledge. Level 0 is really what kids know. They got a bunch of pieces of knowledge. They've experienced different things. They come to school. Most of the experiences that you have in school allow achieving level 1 learning, the ability to repeat knowledge. This is what lectures will give you. This is what videos will give you. This is what many of the ed tech products will also be able to achieve is level 1 learning. But level 2, being able to explain how and why, being able to achieve level 3, where you can actually use the knowledge and skills to solve new problems in new contexts, this is rarely achieved in formal schooling. Pallas has demonstrated in the research that we've done that we are able to achieve those levels of learning. In a paper that has just been published in one of the most prestigious journals in educational research, Learning and Instruction, the number 4 ranked journal, we did a comparison of a lecture-based approach after which students were using our 2D computer modeling systems to learn advanced scientific ideas about climate change. And then we compared that to the challenging guided learning approach that we have been piloting and then implementing in our research. And what we found was for the level 1 learning, there was no difference between the classes that had the lecture first versus challenging guided learning. But on the assessments of level 2 and level 3, very challenging assessments, we had a dramatic difference in the learning performance of the students in the challenging guided learning approach. We're very, very excited to have this in a paper such as this. I'm more than happy to share it if you might be interested. I don't have to tell people in this room that the ed tech space is a big space indeed. It's getting bigger globally. Of course, in the 55 billion range, it's going to be kicking up each year. If you look at the textbook market, that as well is a very big market. We are based in Australia. So if you combine Australian students and US students, you got about 27 million kids. That's a lot of kids. Everybody has to take science. It's required. So there's a lot of opportunities for us to enhance learning of science for this kind of a population. And then we also have some opportunities to be moving into China as well. Even though we're going after our seed round at this point, we are already getting international recognition for the approach that we have been developed. There was a consulting report done by Outsell Limited, a UK consulting company, in a report, Learning Science, Driving the Next Generation of Educational Innovation. Pallas was identified as one of the 10 to watch companies in the world in this space. We were delighted to be in the company of $6 billion Pearson, $3 billion McGraw-Hill. We got another Australian ed tech company, Smart Sparrow. They do really great stuff. But we feel really privileged to be identified at this stage with this kind of a league. And then the testimonials that we've been getting from teachers and students have been really something. It's gratifying to those of us for whom this really is a passion. Our status and plans. We have IP at this point. We have our minimum viable products. We've been demonstrating traction in Australian schools, and we have a school in Hong Kong. And at this point, we are going after our seed round. We have investor interest in Australia, in the United States, as well as in China. And as I said, we're targeting grades, particularly in the United States, 7 to 12. In terms of our team, as the founder, I'm spearheading really kind of the cognitive learning side. Paul Stokes is a fusion physicist who's been a science teacher, but also a McKinsey consultant, brings some great strengths in terms of business background. And then at the seed round stage, we will be announcing a experienced business individual to be the CEO of the company to really drive that aspect of what we will be needing in the senior team. Well, thank you for the opportunity to tell you about Pallas Advanced Learning Systems today.